Hey girlies, and welcome back to the pod. Today we are talking all about work story times. So pretty much best moments, worst moments. TBH, most of them are worst moments, funny moments. Because I know a lot of us in high school do have part-time jobs or have done something over the summer. And personally, I had a job over the summer, so I thought, oh, why not for the September Storytime episode? Which, in case you didn't know, if you're new to the pod, there is a Storytime episode once a month, the first Monday of the month. So obviously that's today whenever you're listening to this. So Labor Day, exciting. But before we get into all the stories, let's just do best and worst of the week. So my best of the week was a few things related to school, just because, school season, fun times. My best of the week was my English class on Friday. We had it like right after lunch or something. And just, it was the most random thing that could have possibly happened. We had class outside because it was super nice. And my entire class just broke out into Hamilton, which was so random, but I loved it. And the teacher got into it. So, so much fun. And then my Spanish class was also fun that Friday afternoon. We played Just Dance and we did it to Despacito. We said that it was like for quote unquote cultural purposes, because I'm in AP Spanish. So it's like language and culture. And we're like, we need to showcase our culture. We need to experience different types of music, and our teacher didn't really know the song. So she was like, sure, whatever. But it was honestly such a meme. So much fun. And this coming week, so when y'all are listening, I'm going to be visiting colleges, which is super exciting. I'm visiting UVA, William & Mary, Duke, and Wake Forest because I have that whole week of Labor Day off. It's usually trips week, but for seniors, we don't have a trip scheduled just because they're like, you can do whatever, go on your own trip, visit colleges, whatever you need to get done. And then freshmen, sophomores, and I think juniors, the junior trip is optional, but freshmen and sophomores have trips, which when I was a freshman and sophomore, they're just so fun. And then juniors are visiting colleges with the school, which is also exciting as well. But I'm just really excited, glad for the break, time away from school. It's been 2 weeks of school, but at the same time, I'm kind of done. I did, in fact, fail a math quiz this week. By fail, I mean I got a 64, which I had a lot of time to reflect, some good crying time, stuff like that. The thing was, it was just so embarrassing because the quiz was over something that we had learned last year. So it wasn't like this was a new concept to me. It was just like I bombed something that I already knew, and that is the absolute basics of calculus, which it just drops your ego down a notch, I thought I was at least decent at math. Guess not. That's okay though. Our whole class collectively did really bad, so we're having a retake, which is good for me because I currently have a 70 in that and can't really do that. I also have homecoming coming up in a few weeks, which I'm super excited about because I haven't been to homecoming since freshman year because sophomore year I was out of town, and then obviously junior year COVID. So I'm super excited. And my school, I don't think, has had homecoming in the fall, maybe ever, really, because we haven't had a football team until recently. So we have the homecoming game coming up, and then actual homecoming, it's in like 2 weeks, and I still don't know what I'm wearing. That's okay. I guess I'm going to figure that out. That'd be a good idea. I'm super excited. Let me know if y'all have homecoming, if you're going. If you do have it, 10 out of 10 would recommend going. It's such a time, such a vibe, so much fun. Honestly, sometimes more fun than prom. But this year, I'm so excited for prom because, just wearing long dresses, being senior year, I think it'll be super fun. And yeah, a lot of exciting things coming up. But at the same time, a lot of stress just with college applications, essays, recommendations, supplementals, actually deciding where I'm going to apply. I was doing that this morning. I literally woke up so early because I just felt anxious. Like, oh my gosh, I need to have this all together. I need to know where I'm applying because a lot of the deadlines are like November 1st or December something, December 1st, January, whatever. And that's soon, you know. But I did find some other schools that I liked. I liked Xavier in Cincinnati. I like Denison, which I think is like near Columbus. I don't know the exact like town it's in, but I really liked those two. So I guess those are like kind of target slash safety schools in a way. Because a lot of the schools I'm applying to are very hard, and my college counselor's like, yeah, those are hard schools. I'm like, yes. Courtesy of Lisa, aka my mom. Thanks for that. It's okay, love her. But this week I've just been feeling kind of mentally exhausted, kind of just done with life. Feel a lot of pressure, a lot of stress just to do well. I mean, in school and extracurricular things, I've honestly never really felt the pressure to do well in school just because it's never been something that I've really struggled with. But then this year, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get all A's. And I'm acting like that's a thing that I've never done before. But I just feel stressed. And I'm just glad that I get a break and get to do something fun like this and talk to y'all. And yeah, let me know if you're feeling stressed, if like back to school is so much. And honestly, going from the summer and doing really nothing, not that much, to like having school being in like 4 APs, it's kind of a lot. But I was doing a lot over the summer. Like I said, I was a hostess at a sushi restaurant. I've done some babysitting in the summer and this fall, and I mean, I've been going straight grinding. Yeah, so exciting. So exciting. Love my life. Anyways, let's get into the work story times. I'm gonna pull up my laptop because I know a lot of people sent in some stories, and then I have some as well because, like I said, from hostessing or from babysitting, which got quite a few. So, I'll just start out with some of your stories. I just picked a few of my favorites, so obviously not all of them. But if I didn't read your story, sorry about it. I did read all the ones that were submitted, though. Some of them were pretty good. I'm reading most of those. But yeah, let's just get started. I work at a coffee shop, and I made someone an iced drink. Apparently, they wanted it hot, but I served it ice. I said that I would remake it, and they agreed. They kept the iced drink and the hot one as well. But he didn't appreciate the time it took. It probably was another 3 to 5 minute wait. And when I handed it out, they decided to do one last thing. They took the lid off the iced drink and threw the drink back at me, right in my face. I became drenched in iced caramel and chocolate and proceeded to bawl my eyes out in the car after work. And to this day, I still work there. This is why customer service jobs are so hard. Like, people are absolutely ridiculous. Props to you for being nice to when people are being mean. I know, when I was hostessing, there was this one lady who yelled at me for probably 10 straight minutes. I'll just tell the story. It was just so ridiculous. I'll admit I was in the wrong, but she was going like absolutely ham. But it was one day during lunch, and it was super rainy outside, and usually we have indoor outdoor tables, but the inside is pretty much reservation only and outside is like walk-ins. But since it was raining, my boss had told me, okay, just don't seat people outside because it's raining. And this lady comes in, it's like 12, and she says, can we have a table for 8? And I tell her, I'm like, no, we're fully booked inside and we can't accommodate you. And she's like, okay, but I have 2 crying kids back there. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do. And then I told her we had the outside tables, but it's kind of raining, so you'd have to sit in the rain. And she's like, no, I can't do that. And then someone else wanted to sit outside, and they didn't care about the rain, so they sat down, and she walks back up to me, and she's like, are you freaking serious right now? She's like, those people get a table, and we don't. I was like, ma'am, it's raining. You didn't want to sit in the rain. And she just yells at me. She goes, my kids have been wanting to eat here all summer. And that's really sucky of you. That's really sucky. And keep in mind, this lady is like 40 years old, and she's like yelling at me about how sucky I am. And the other hostess who was there, literally, this lady was just like throwing shit at me. And the other hostess literally backed away and like walked inside. I was like, oh, okay, thanks for the support, bye. And it was funny because 30 minutes later, she walked back up to the host stand and she literally apologized to me. She's like, I'm so sorry for acting out. I don't want to be like this. She's like, I promise I'm not a Karen. And she was like saying stuff like that. And her husband literally gave me $20 because she was a quote unquote inconvenience to me. And it was just, oh my God, it was so funny. But I mean, dealing with people is hard. People are assholes. And people don't understand that no means no. Literally, I had this one guy call and he wanted to make a reservation, but we were fully booked at dinner. We were always fully booked. And I told him that, and he was like, okay, well, I want to talk to one of your managers. And so I gave the phone to the manager. The manager's like, we're fully booked. He's like, okay, I want to talk to someone else. And he talks to the other hostess. We're fully booked. He talked to a server. We're fully booked. And it wasn't until we put a man on the phone that he was finally like, oh, okay. It's like, sexist motherfucker. Really, truly, ouch. But really builds your patience. Really improves your patience. Makes you realize that you are smarter than the average person. Yep. Okay. One time I was babysitting and these cop cars came onto the street of their house and they were looking for something. And then they just turned on their lights and left. We were scared, especially because someone that their parents didn't know knocked on the door, and when they saw us in there, they left. And they saw this because they looked at the security footage. Bruh. What if the person they were looking for was a person who knocked on the door? This is kind of like, I really want to do scary story times for October. Let me know what you guys think. But the other day, something similar actually happened to me. It was so random. I was driving out of my neighborhood with my sister because we were going to go to a football game. And there's like 2 cop cars by a house on our street. And we're like, that's weird. And we keep driving. And as we're driving out of the neighborhood, there's a cop car blocking a street right by the park. And along the road, there's 15 cop cars surrounding a house. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. That's so crazy. This literally doesn't happen in our neighborhood. So we're like, wonder what's going on. And so we told my dad, we were like, there's cop cars surrounding the neighborhood. This is so weird. What's going on? And he's like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. And he calls us later at the football game and he's like, Carmen, they're screaming on like some megaphone, mega speaker, whatever it's called, where they talk in, and they're like, Mike, come out of the house. Mike, come out of the house and leave your guns. Stuff like that. And we're like, what the heck? It was so random. Honestly, though, kind of scary, kind of sketch just to think about, like, the people you live by, or when you're babysitting, you're at this random person's house, and you have, like, responsibility of the kids. My question is, whoever said I was qualified to watch children? Like, what have I done to prove that I know how to do that? That has always been my question, babysitting. I'm like, what? I'm also a child. I am a child watching your child. Interesting. it's also funny because sometimes for babysitting, you literally are just getting paid to watch TV or to sit while they do their homework and to put them to bed. Like, I got paid $20 an hour to watch Mulan. And Mulan is my favorite Disney movie, okay? Literally. That was, I think, last weekend. All I did Saturday and Sunday was babysit these two twin 2-year-olds and a 5-year-old. And we literally just played outside and watched Mulan and watched Spirit, which, if you don't know what that is, really missing out. I've never seen so much of a show than I have this one. It's about pretty much like horse girls, and they're just like in the West and doing horse girl things. It was a time. It was a time. So interesting. You know, you're like the life of the party when you spend all weekend watching Spirit. And like, instead of like going out with friends, you're like, my fun time is watching Spirit, hanging out with like 2-year-olds. That was my weekend. What was yours? But no, it's fun. It's fun.
Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you'll always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podco section of the application.
I work at a car wash, and one time we were cleaning out the inside of a car, and I went to turn around to talk to my supervisor who was giving us tips, and I sucked up my hair with the vacuum in my hand, and like half of my hair went down it. I screamed, and my supervisor just laughed. Okay, let's just pause, try to imagine this. This is ridiculous. What the hell? Oh my god. So you're turning, and it's just sucking your hair, so you're like, oh my god. Ouch. Did it rip your hair out? Please let us know. The people want to know. Damn, that sounds like it hurts. Also, I don't know where I was going with that, but just, ow. R.I.P. your hair. I hope it's doing okay. Speaking of hair, I tried really hard on mine today, so everyone on YouTube can see. Everyone on audio, I'll just describe it for you. You can't really tell because I'm wearing headphones, but it's kind of like the bubble braids, I think that's what it's called, where you like section off pieces of your hair and like kind of poof them out. It's also what I would call like a sorority girl look, but it's so cute. So I did like 2 of those, and then I have a really cute shirt on. It's a yin yang symbol from Depop. Swag. I don't know the actual brand, but I was just feeling kind of crappy last night, honestly most of the week. So I decided to wake up this morning and do something nice for myself. So I put on cute clothes and I did some makeup, did my hair, and feel like a new person. I mean, honestly, low-key the same, but at least I look cute. At least I look cute while doing it, right? Just gonna say that, so maybe if I say it enough, I'll believe it. Yeah, okay. I was babysitting my brother, so obviously it was just like us two. I lived in Chicago at the time, and we had really creepy neighbors. Like, one got arrested for pulling out a gun on someone, and his roommate got put in an insane asylum. Oh. This is my thing about the neighbors. You never know. You never know. And sometimes you don't want to know. Most times, you don't want to know who you're living next to. Just don't ask. Don't ask. It was like 9:30 p.m. and we heard a knock on the door. And the doorbell rang a bunch of times. I told my brother not to move so I could go get my phone, and the next thing I know, I hear the door slowly inch open. Oh? Creepy. My brother had just opened the door, and I didn't see anyone, but I heard my brother screaming, "Hello? Don't bother us. It's just me and my sister in here." Oh my god. and I sprinted for him as fast as I could and called my parents to come home. Let's just say I've never had to babysit him again. That is so sketchy. It was definitely like some creepy old man, or what if it's like a ghost? Honestly, I go in and out of phases of where I believe in ghosts and when I don't. I feel like I've talked about this before, but I can't remember. But always like once in a while, my parents and I just have a conversation about ghosts and like if we believe in ghosts, if there's ghosts in the house, if there were ghosts in their house when they were younger. And my dad always says that there was a ghost in his house when he was younger, and he would tell this elaborate story. They're like, oh my god, how could it not be real, you know? And he says that when my grandma died, that the ghost left too. So that's a little weird. And then I think it might have been 2 years ago, but I was sitting up in my room and I hear a knock on the door. My dog Tilly just starts barking super loud and she doesn't stop. And my dad starts screaming downstairs. He's like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. Don't open the door. I'm like, holy shit. This is it. This is it. We're trying not to let a ghost in our house because nothing was there. Literally nothing was there. But it turned out that my dog was just barking at a fox or something. But still, you never know. Could have been a ghost. Low key, could have been a ghost. So, I don't know. I feel like I always think that there's something there. There was one time in my Eastern World Religions class where I was just sitting there in the room and I felt something touch me, like on my back, and like someone was putting a hand on me, and nothing was there. No one was behind me. I was like, oh my god, something touched me, but nothing is there. And I don't know if that's like my imagination going crazy, but I swear it happened. So, could have happened to y'all. Could have happened to y'all. Hopefully it wasn't the man from the insane asylum who could have supposedly escaped, or the man who got arrested for pulling a gun on someone. Hopefully not. Let's prefer ghosts. Let's go with that. Keep it PG, you know? I say that while I swear I never do. I try. It's hard. One time I was babysitting, and when I got inside, the parents left right away. No instructions whatsoever. I'm still in my uniform from school. Yes, disgusting. Honestly, I don't know why that's gross. Personally, I wear what I wear to school, like, for the rest of the day, so I don't think anyone cares. But also, I don't have a uniform, so I don't know. I do remember when I did have a uniform. Low-key liked it, though. I feel like I might be one of those annoying people who actually likes uniforms, but I thought it was nice because you didn't have to worry about what to wear and, like, getting dress coded. Or I guess the only thing you would really get dress coded for would be, like, if your skirt was too short, which, don't even get me started on dress codes, especially my school right now. Sorry, let me just go on a quick little rant. So, it was as though all the girls in my school collectively decided that we're now all wearing Lululemon skirts to school, which, if you've ever seen them, barely cover your butt. And I have, in fact, seen many butt cheeks recently just because of these skirts. And I swear they were never in the dress code. And I'm not trying to be like a narc and be like, the dress code. But like, if we could wear these, if we could have been wearing these the whole time, why didn't anyone say so? Why did I just know about it now? Or are we just all deciding that, like, dress code isn't a thing? Which, I mean, also on board with that, was totally confused. Anyway, school issues. Okay. When I go inside, the kid is just sitting and playing with cars. So I sit my butt down on the kitchen table and start to do homework. Time goes by and it's 8 o'clock. I put the kid to bed and all seems fine. Later that night, around 9, I go to check on the kid. And he's missing. Oh no. I'm in a full panic mode trying to find this kid. I'm going around and trying to find him, and he's like 4. So I'm yelling, John, your parents are going to be home soon. But the kid is still not coming. I thought maybe he went back to his room, so I go inside, and this time I turn on the light because I'm a dumbass. And the kid is just sitting on the opposite side of the bed, just chilling, sleeping peacefully, exactly where I put him. I was losing my shit for this kid who was still in his bed. Anyways, the parents got home at like 11, and I don't tell them because why? And anyways, turns out that they have video cameras in their house. So they knew that I was running around the house acting like a complete idiot, and we still laugh about it to this day. I don't babysit for them anymore. That's so embarrassing, because always when the parents get home, they're like, oh, like, how was John? Was everything okay? And like, oh my gosh, he was totally fine. He was great. Then they see the camera, they're like, oh, he was great. And it's like you running around the house. You're like, John, where the fuck are you? Where are you? Oh my god. Iconic. I feel like that's definitely something I would do, is just lose the child. You don't know where they go. Kind of scary. Kind of stressful. Definitely. The kids I've babysat for, though, have been like, one of them was my friend's younger cousins, so they know me, and it wasn't that weird, like, getting to know them. But they have, like, a slide in their house, which is super fun, and the kids would just want to go up and down the slide all the time. And I would get so stressed because they're running up and down the slide, and they want me to go with them, obviously. And they're, like, climbing over each other, and they keep, like, kicking everyone in the face. I'm like, oh my god, someone's gonna start crying. Someone's gonna panic. This is not gonna go well. There is no possible way this could go well. It's just stressful. Kids are stressful. Or these other kids that I babysat for, they would just cry all the time. Nothing would happen. One of them would steal, like, a pepperoni off their pizza. Tears. All the waterworks. Someone would accidentally bump their head. Tears. All the waterworks. Someone would go outside. It's too hot. Tears. All the waterworks. Oh my gosh, where's mom? Tears. All the waterworks. Literally anything that could possibly happen did happen, and there were so many tears. The amount of times I had to be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Mommy's gonna be home soon. It's like 4 p.m. She's not getting back until like 10. I'm like, yeah, she'll be here soon. Just lie to them. No, it's not lying, I guess. Is it? Who knows? Whatever. Once I was working at a candy shop just for extra pocket money this one summer, and my boss and I got really close. She had 2 kids, 1 son and a daughter. So one weekend she was going away with her husband, and she asked me to babysit for her daughter, whose name is Lizzie. And I couldn't say no because her son, Jack, is super hot and I really wanted to go out with him. And this was the perfect opportunity to seduce him. Yes, seduce him. That is what it said. I'm not making that up. Just wanted to point that out. Love the word choice. Love the word choice here. So I went to their house and me and Jack were babysitting Lizzie. And when she fell asleep, we decided to play Truth or Dare. Ooh, we all know where this is going. I feel like Truth or Dare never ends up well. If anyone has seen like the After movie, there's just the one scene that just keeps replaying in my mind. It was trending on TikTok too, that it was like, I dare you to kiss Harden, and she's like, oh my gosh, what? No. And I don't know all the words. I can't think of it. And it was like, Monica, don't. That's not right. I don't remember. But they were playing Truth or Dare, and it's just, like, iconic. Also, can we just say how bad After 2 was? Horrible. Absolutely horrendous. The first one was cringy, okay, but I could get through that. The second one, And I paid to watch it. I paid to watch that crap. Why? I don't know. It was not worth it. Freaking Twilight is better than that, okay? Divergent is better than that. 50 Shades of Grey is better than that. And all those movies are cringe, okay? All those movies are cringe. So we're playing Truth or Dare, and it was going well until he asked me a question. So I chose truth. Duh. He asked me if I imagined making out with him, and I was like, should I say yes or no? Because it was like a weird question to ask, but I did picture myself making out with him, so I was like, fuck it, and said, yeah, I do sometimes. Oh, mm. I would actually, if someone asked me that, I probably would start laughing, if I'm being honest, because that would just make me so uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't know, and what are you supposed to say? Because if you say no, they're like, oh. If you say yeah, then they're like, okay. And I guess the next thing I know, we're sitting there making out on the couch, but suddenly the door opened and my boss and her husband stormed into the living room and saw us making out. So obviously we freaked out, and she was giving me that, what the fuck are you doing with my son when my daughter is sleeping in the next room look. Oh, tea. Absolute piping hot tea. It was really embarrassing, and I never went to the candy shop again, not even to get my paycheck, so I practically worked a month for free because I didn't have the guts to go back to that place and face my boss. But her son was a really good kisser, though. I like how you ended that. Thank you. Gotta point it out. Props to him. Good for him. He probably never lives that down. I'm sure whenever he gets in trouble, like with his parents, his mom brings that up. He's like, oh, remember that one girl they brought over here? Yeah, remember that? Kind of like blackmail. Like something your siblings would do. That is really iconic. I love it. I love it. I wish I had a story like that. But also, do I? Yeah. Can't relate. Kind of iconic. Definitely my favorite story that was submitted, so props to you. At the place where I work, there's this one customer, and he normally comes an hour-ish before closing and sits outside and sometimes just watches us. Creepy. No thank you. We all feel pretty uncomfortable, especially when we're working alone. He's also an anti-masker, so one time before I started working there, he came in without a mask on and refused to put one on. He got really mad and aggressive, so my boss had to almost call the cops. The weird thing is that he's not really a pleasant or agreeable type person, yet everyone, and I mean everyone, stops to say hi to him. Young couples, old couples, and literally everyone. It's so weird. Some people also come up to him and just give him money, and he gives them packages, so we all think he's some sort of drug dealer. Yes, I would assume so. I believe that's how it goes. Yep. You're on to something. He's also been seen on the bench outside where I work at all hours of the night. Midnight, 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and he's not even sleeping. He just sits there, and it's really weird. Maybe he's homeless. Maybe he doesn't, have anywhere to go. That could be why. You never know. And at first we assumed that he's homeless. Yeah, like I said. Because he sometimes spends the night. But my boss told me that he's apparently really rich and has some mansion and a fancy motorcycle. That's weird. Oh. I guess I was wrong? Okay. They also told me that his wife was apparently murdered or something. Which was really tragic. Yeah. Oh my god. Poor guy. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to go back to his house, because it reminds him of his wife. Or maybe he killed her. You never know. Nobody knows what happened with his wife, and we just heard she was killed. His whole life just sounds crazy, and I wish he'd write a book or take an interview about his life. He probably doesn't want to, but I think it'd be really interesting. I hope he's doing okay right now, and I wish him all the best. Anyways, that's the crazy work story because I find this guy really mysterious, strange, and kind of interesting. He sounds very cool, but also, sad. I wonder if he killed his wife. Because I feel like, aren't most murders, domestic murders, someone in your family killing someone else, children killing their parents, or parents killing their children, or husband killing wife, wife killing husband. So you usually would kill someone that's related to you. Imagine knowing someone who knew someone that was murdered. I feel like this is really awful to say. Please don't think I'm a psychopath. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Please, guys. Damn. That poor man. I hope he's okay, too. He should write a book. He should come on the Girly Girl podcast. Let's have the creepy rich man from wherever you work come on and be on the podcast. I think that's a great idea and would go really well. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So, send him my email. Do that. Speaking of creepy old men, there was this one really, guy who would always come by at work. His name was Trevor, and he was, kind of British. I think he had some sort of accent. And he would literally just sit at the bar all day and flirt with my manager. And he would always come in, really drunk. And whenever he was drunk, he would act super creepy and, really touchy with everybody. But when he wasn't drunk, he was, pretty nice. So I think he was kind of an alcoholic. Because when he was drinking, he was, bad. But one day during lunchtime, it was, late afternoon, he walked into the restaurant and I was at the host stand with the manager. And he was obviously, shit-faced, And he walks over and my manager goes, "Oh my gosh, Trevor, you need to buy Carmen a dress." I'm like, "Girl, what?" I was like, "Are we pimping me out? Are we? Okay. He was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah." And I'm just standing there. She's my manager, so I can't be like, no. But I was like, "Oh, I'm okay. Thank you, though." And she's like, "No, go." And I can't be like, "No, Jenny, I can't go." So, had to do that. And this man bought me a $500 dress. And it's not even cute. And I didn't even like it. Literally, it was the weirdest moment of my life. And he bought dresses for all the girls in the store. And I saw the receipt. It was over $6,000. And apparently he's not even rich. And he's just spending money on these random underage girls or girls in college. And it was so creepy. And speaking of my manager, just tea about her. She did get fired, so sucks. She kind of deserved it. But the guy who owned the restaurant, who started it, I don't think he owns it anymore, tried to get her arrested and report her to the newspaper for prostitution and what's it called, when you run a bunch of girls for sex, pimping, a pimp, something like that. But what's the girl version? I don't know. But he wanted to get her arrested for that, and I was like, she's literally trying to do this, and she was trying to get all the hostesses dresses and get Trevor to buy all the girls stuff. It was pretty weird. Super uncomfy, and then I got in trouble for that. My parents and my aunt and uncle yelled at me for that. I was like, "What do you all want me to do? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be supportive. I work there. I can't just be like, 'No, thank you.'" And even if I did say no, he's the type of dude who wouldn't take no for an answer. But I got in trouble for that. I was like, not really my fault. But okay. Kind of funky. Also, another time at the restaurant, this old man, maybe late 60s, walked in, and he was obviously from South Carolina. He had a pretty heavy accent, and he walked in, and he was like, "Wow, how lucky am I to have two attractive hostesses?" And it's literally me and my twin sister. We're 17. This man's 60, and we're like, "Oh, haha." He gave my sister $50 for being pretty. And then somehow we discovered that he was friends of Hadley's ex-roommate from freshman year, who got kicked out of their room for being racist to their other roommate. And this man took a picture with us and sent it to the girl and was like, "Oh my gosh, I met your friend. Hadley and this girl aren't friends. They don't speak." So awkward. So literally so uncomfy. I would want to die. Also, this is so random, but when I was babysitting the other weekend, I was putting the kids to bed and they were going crazy. They didn't want to go to bed. They missed their parents. And so I told them, I was like, hey guys, like, I'm going to sing you some of the songs that my dad sang to me when I was younger. And so I sang them, like, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and, like, Rockabye Baby and, like, that type of stuff. They're 2, so that's what I did. And then I was like, okay, do you want to hear my favorite song? But I couldn't think of anything. The first thing that came into my mind was Riptide. So I literally sang these kids Riptide. They're like 2 and 5. And they thought it was a bedtime song. And it was the funniest moment of my entire life. I was trying so hard not to laugh. It was such a meme. Because obviously they don't know what the song is. Because they're like 2. And they were just sitting there. They were like bobbing their heads. Like just jamming out. And it literally made them fall asleep. I was like, wow. This is iconic. This is so iconic. I also, one time when I was babysitting, I got life advice from a 5-year-old. So if you're babysitting, get the kids' advice. I swear they are pretty smart. Most of them can help you out. They can help you out. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. And thank y'all so much for sending in your stories. I thought this was super fun. I honestly loved working this summer for the most part. It was an interesting time. I don't know if I want to work in a restaurant again, but it was a good experience. And babysitting has been super fun. So, would recommend getting a part-time job if you're a teen, if you're in high school, if you can. It's fun, good experience, and you can put it on your resume. So, think about that. And make sure you subscribe and follow and leave a review. Let me know your thoughts if you're loving the podcast. And you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest at the Girly Girl Podcast if you want to see more from me during the week. And thank y'all so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing week. I think most people should be in school by now. So if it's your first week of school, have a blast. And if you're just in school normally, keep it up. You got it. I know it's hard. I know you don't want to be there, but I promise it'll be okay. And it'll be over before you know it. You'll be a senior soon, or maybe you'll be graduating soon. You never know. So, thanks for listening, y'all. And I appreciate you. Bye. Love ya.